So, what's it like being a full-time yoga teacher? For me, it's the best job in the world. I absolutely love teaching yoga. I really believe in the psychological and physical benefits that this practice offers, and it's something that I want to share and continue to share with not just the people that I work with face to face, but also people that I perhaps will never come into physical contact with, which is why I'm starting this YouTube channel and I'm trying to share more information online. So if you like any of these videos that I've shared, please like, subscribe, and ask any questions that you might have in the comments. Back to what it's like being a yoga teacher. Generally, if you're working in a big city like London where I live, the classes in studios will take place at 7 o'clock in the morning. Maybe in some places, whether it's a very big studio, they might have an earlier class, perhaps 2 classes if they have 2 studios. And then after that, there will be a 9:30, 10 a.m. class. And then there might be a lunchtime class and maybe a late afternoon class. And then they'll have evening classes which take place at 6, sometimes 7 o'clock in the evening. Again, depending on the size of the studio. So you will, if you are teaching studio classes only, you will generally find yourself teaching early in the morning, possibly later in the morning, 10 o'clock, maybe a lunchtime class, and maybe an evening class. So if you're doing this full time and you need to fill your schedule with multiple classes, that can be a very long day, although you will have some gaps to rest during the day. If you are teaching corporate classes, so going into organizations to teach them, the main time that corporates want classes to be held is after work, so 6:30 p.m. I do know of some that have lunchtime classes, but they are, I guess, less popular, at least in my experience. With individuals, so working with people privately one-to-one, there is a lot more flexibility. So there is likely that if you're working with people one-to-one, that they will have slots available during the day, but they might have family commitments in the evening. So to give you an example of what my teaching is like, I have 7 studio classes that I teach a week, 2 a day maximum, and these are 1 early in the morning, 1 mid-morning, 2 at lunchtime, and then 1 in the evening on Thursday, 1 on a Saturday morning. The rest of my teaching, most of my classes, I teach about between 13 and 15 one-to-ones a week. So some people I work with 3 days a week, some people I work with 4 days a week, and some people I work with just 1 or 2 days a week. Most of the privates that I teach, I'm teaching in between the hours of 9:30 and 2:30. I have 2 children, and so after I've taught my morning class, I teach a morning class pretty much every morning from 7 till 8 a.m. I then cycle home on my bike, drop my bike off, take the kids to school, head home, get on my bike again, and then I head to my next class. So there's a lot of movement involved in getting from class to class. If you're teaching full-time like I am, one of the best investments that I think you can make is a bicycle, because it saves you money on transport, and also you are less likely to get stuck somewhere and not to be able to get to your next class on time. Also, because my schedule's quite tight, getting from class to class and then back to school for pickup can leave me just a few minutes to spare either end of the class and the next class or pickup. So it can be, I guess, quite physically active. So in some ways it's brilliant because it keeps you really healthy, fit, because you're moving around a lot. But I imagine if you don't have a bicycle and you're trying to get around on public transport, it could be a bit of a struggle, and that would make things more stressful. With studio classes, the studio will generally pay you either a flat fee, or they'll pay you a flat fee and then you'll get a small bonus depending on the number of students that come to your classes. With corporates, they'll pay more per class, and they might also agree to doing a term of classes, so maybe 6 months of classes with you, or a block of classes. The way that I work and the way that I suggest people work with privates is to ask them to book a block of classes. I do 12 class blocks, and then when I get to sort of the 10th class, I remind the person that they've got 2 classes left, and then they'll make a payment and we continue. This I find is more beneficial in terms of managing your finances, because you get a chunk of money and you know that someone is committed, and I think it's beneficial for the student too, because they agree to lock in a regular slot or regular slots with you so that they can practice regularly. If they're practicing regularly, frequently, then they'll see a better level of improvement in their practice. Now, it is difficult to make a significant amount of money just teaching yoga. So of the teachers that I know, there are not many that are full-time. I've been full-time since I left my previous job at the end of December in 2017. I've been full-time since the 1st of January. I am fortunate in that my wife also works, so we have a combined income, but I am not currently making the same money that I used to make in my previous job. And so though I'm only working 20 hours a week, I'm only teaching 20 hours a week, I'm moving around quite a lot. I do have a lot of spare time. It's also nice to be moving around on a bicycle, so it's very beneficial. I do also get to spend time with the kids from 3 in the evening, so there are or 3 in the afternoon. So there are lots of benefits, but financially, I think this work can be quite stressful, especially when you live in a city like London where life is expensive. And also, if you're in my stage of life, I'll be 45 this year. Having people depend on you, having children, and not having a guaranteed income can be stressful. So that's something to bear in mind. I think that if you like teaching yoga and if you are dedicated to teaching yoga, as I feel I am, this is really just a wonderful way to spend your time. There's not one class that I have ever not looked forward to, and so that is something I feel really blessed to be able to do. Like when you're waking up at sort of 6 in the morning in the winter, and it's 0 degrees and dark, having a desire to go and teach and feeling good about what you're doing is really nourishing and really motivating. I know not everyone feels like that about their work, but I feel blessed to be able to be in that position, and I think that is something that I want to share my passion for yoga with others, and I think it comes across. If you love what you're doing, then you put more into it, and also the people that you're relating to will get more out of it. I feel like I'm rambling a bit now, so we'll leave the video there. But if you have any questions about teaching yoga in London, then please feel free to leave a comment or ask any questions, and I'll try and answer them in subsequent videos. But like, subscribe, share, and it's a privilege to share this information with you. Namaste. Thank you.